Hi there, this is the Shawn1113 podcast show, recording this episode on November 4th, 2025. Thank you for listening to this podcast. If you love this podcast, um, please hit a 5-star rating, share this podcast, and it will also be shared on X as well and on YouTube as well. Although I always have some trouble with YouTube with their algorithm because mainly because they put it to private instead of public, so I have to schedule that in order. So it's going to be a little bit of time before that happens. And of course, Spotify for creators as well. When I first upload the podcast as well. Of course, any platform anywhere in the world will get the Shawn Lemon 13 podcast show. So thank you so much in advance for that. Anywhere in the world. Now, got a lot of things to talk about as usual. Excuse me. But I'm definitely going to be talking about the World Series more than I usually have because because my LA Dodgers won. But I'll be talking about that a little bit. First and foremost, I'm going to be talking about the NFL. NFL to me, it's been very topsy turvy this year. The parity is more evident than ever in as we now pass the midseason point. I mean, I think it's wide open. I really do think it's wide open out there, very wide open. And NFC, especially in the NFC, and especially take particular attention to the AFC and NFC North, respectfully. I think 9 wins might be enough to put you in the playoffs, and it's going to be one team that goes there to the AFC North and the NFC North, and really nobody's out of it except the Jets. That's it. Everybody else is in playoff position. It's been a long, strange season, though. I will say that. Now, college football, well, Ohio State, Indiana, they're going to be the team to beat. Texas A&M. I mean, like I said, there's a long way to go. Excuse me. And by the way, it's been amazing. It's just like, let me look at the rankings for 1 second if I do agree. BYU Texas Tech is going to be a huge one for that. And I'm trying to get my thoughts for a second or two. Ohio State, Indiana, Texas A&M, and Alabama, Georgia, Oregon, Ole Miss, BYU, Texas Tech, and Notre Dame, and then all of a sudden Virginia, and I'm from Virginia. The last time I heard about Virginia football being relevant when the Barber twins and Herman Moore were playing for Virginia. Surreal. It's actually surreal. Texas, well, mm, Louisville, I agree. Georgia should have been dropped down. Miami, Mike Hurricanes, the team that I love, always built you up, but then Mario Cristobal's team let you down for whatever reason. I Utah, Missouri, I'm looking at the rankings right now. Michigan, yeah, until they play Ohio State and their defense. Tennessee, I agree. Iowa, I don't know about that. Cincinnati, yeah, should be out of the top 25. Washington, Memphis, yeah, they should be 22 to be honest. But this top 10, I agree with you of the coaches poll and the AT 25, and we'll see what happens there. A lot of college football left, plus the championship games, conference championship games, respectively. So with that, go to the English Premier League at the pitch. A lot of games there. I'm looking at the standings right now. Arsenal, for the first time in a while, still have that point lead, 6 point lead over Man City, Liverpool, Sunderland. Got a big game with Sunderland coming up. Bournemouth, Tottenham, Chelsea, Man United, Crystal Palace, and Brighton. And Aston Villa rounding up the top 10 with 15 points. We'll see what happens there. Can Arsenal hang on? Um, I don't know. We'll see. NBA and their standings underway. Sixers and Bulls and Bucks. He's doing my Miami doing pretty well. So in the Eastern Conference, Nets 0-7. Ooh, Pacers. Ooh. Celtics, they might be all right eventually, but we'll see. Western Conference in the NBA, Thunder, no surprise there. Spurs looking nice. Lakers looking better with Luka and Reeves because Denver. I'm just saying, Rockets, all these teams, Pelicans. It's time to trade Zion, isn't it? It's time to trade Zion Williamson for the Pelicans. They're not going anywhere, and so is the Memphis Grizzlies. Isn't it time for John Morant to be traded at some point from the Memphis Grizzlies? You tell me. You tell me in the comments below. Now NHL. I'm looking at the standings there. Eastern and Western Conference. And New Jersey, Pittsburgh with youth and experience there, surprisingly. Canadians, probably not surprised. I like the Red Wings. They make the playoffs, to be honest. Who's at the bottom? There's really nobody at the bottom. Panthers in 13th, but they'll get it together eventually. Hurricanes, Rangers, they'll get it together. Blue Jackets, yeah. Islanders, all those teams, Capitals. Then you look at the West in the NHL. Colorado, Winnipeg, Utah, hanging on, Dallas, Blackhawks. I'm actually rooting for the Blackhawks to make the playoffs this year, and we'll see what happens there. Seattle, Anaheim, Vegas, a little bit. Ducks getting hot at 3. All this is going to change, but it's early in the season. Then I saw yesterday some actual college basketball yesterday. And Arizona and Florida, Arizona put out the defending national champion Florida Gators. Um, Pretty good game there for between those two teams. There was a believe it, there was a lot of college basketball yesterday, and nobody. I don't know if anybody noticed that yet, but it's honest. It is now underway. Um, and a lot of it was on YouTube called the Field of 68. A lot of college basketball games there, ESPN as well. There was a lot. There was a lot of basketball yesterday, so especially the college level. So enjoy it. It's called Field of 68. I mean, just look it up. Go to the YouTube channel, and and I'm sure you'll see it. I'm sure you'll see it for yourself. Now, on to the World Series. Great series for the most part. 3, 6, and 7 in particular. Seeing my Dodgers win made my year 2025 as a fan. But I gotta tell you, Toronto had plenty of opportunities to win this World Series outright. Honestly, why? You know what? Let's look back to Game 3 in that 18-inning marathon because Toronto had the opportunity to win that Game 3 if I mean Clayton Kershaw gets that one out. Tommy Edman scoops it up, gives it to Freeman. They get and they get 0 on the bases loaded jam. Toronto gets nothing in that bases loaded jam. If Edman does it the regular way, they get that. Toronto gets that one. And considering Game 4 and Game 5, the Blue Jays won those games, they would have won the World Series right there and then. Plenty of opportunities for Toronto. I mean, some teams definitely have all the luck. The LA Dodgers are just one of those teams that had all the luck. The wedge ball in Game 6, the Kiki Hernandez put out, Bargain going too far at second. I mean, the dead ball wedge. Um, Game 7. I mean, the guy who was on third base, Miguel Rojas hitting a home run in unexpected times. Um, and then that put out on home. home because the runner was too short off the base. If it was 2 to 3 feet, Toronto scores and wins the World Series. Then some teams have all the luck. Of course, the paraphrase Rod Stewart song, some guys have all the luck. But the bottom line is this: defense usually wins championships in football, and luck and defense and a little bit of luck won the championship for the Los Angeles Dodgers. I mean, let's be real about that. And Yamamoto, mm, oof, deserved to be the MVP of the World Series. Absolutely, he saved the Dodgers. Mm, that's all I can tell you. But like I said, won defense and a little bit of luck, timely luck, won the Dodgers the championship, and a little bit of bad luck went Toronto's way. Toronto's a great team. Well, I'm sure we'll see them back somewhere down the line. And that's my World Series, in my opinion, about that. We'll see what happens in 2026. But as Joe Davis just coined the phrase, to beat the champs, you got to knock them off. And to the other 29 teams, shut up. Knock the Dodgers off in 2026. Get used to it. That's all I got to say about that. Now, on to the NFL and Shawn Steele's NFL, Week 10 and Week 11 college pick six. Here we go. We go. The CFP pick six, Week 11. Auburn and Vanderbilt pick Vanderbilt. Wake Forest and Virginia picking Virginia. Notre Dame and Navy, maybe a trap game, but I'm picking Notre Dame. So it's Texas A&M and Missouri. I'm picking Texas A&M. The biggest game of the week, well, first, Tulane and Memphis. I'm going to pick Memphis. And the biggest game of the week, believe it or not, is BYU and Texas Tech in the Big 12. Picking BYU over Texas Tech in a close one. Now, Week 10, Las Vegas, 2025-2026, Shawn Steele's NFL picks. Here we go. 14 games on the docket, by the way. Las Vegas and Denver, picking Denver on Thursday night. Atlanta and the Indianapolis Colts, they're in Germany. I'm going to pick Indianapolis. New England and Tampa Bay, picking Tampa Bay. One of the games of the week I'm looking forward to. Cleveland and New York Jets. I'm picking the Jets. Buffalo and Miami, picking Buffalo. Jacksonville and Houston, picking Jacksonville. New Orleans and the Carolina Packers, picking Carolina. New York Giants and Chicago, picking Chicago. And that was a wild game. That was wild. By the way, week 1 was much better than week 8. Week 8, an absolutely wild finish with Cincinnati, Chicago. Chicago is beginning to learn how to win. Baltimore Ravens and Minnesota Vikings. I'm picking Baltimore in a slight one. Go either way. Arizona and Seattle, picking Seattle. Even though Arizona had their biggest win of the season over Dallas. You think Dallas is going anywhere? No. Detroit and Washington. Best of luck with Jaden Daniels on his elbow itching. It looked ugly. But I'm picking Detroit to bounce back. LA Rams and 49ers. I'm going to pick the Rams. Pittsburgh, and it can go either way. Pittsburgh and the LA Chargers. So it's that Sunday night game. I'm picking the Chargers. And then Philadelphia and Green Bay. Picking Philadelphia in that one because Green Bay did not look good last Sunday in Week 9. I can tell you that much. So some really good matchups to keep an eye on. New England, Tampa Bay. And on the back, Baltimore and Minnesota. Arizona, Seattle. Maybe a trap game for Seattle. The Rams and 49ers. Pittsburgh and the Chargers. And Eagles and Packers. Those are the games to watch for me, in my opinion, for that. So with that is the Shawn1113 podcast show, recorded on November 4th, 2025. Who knows what's going to happen in the elections? And I don't care. But the bottom line is, if you're going to vote today, go ahead and vote. If you don't. No less, no more. Anyway, I've said more than enough. Thank you for listening to the Shawn1113 podcast show. Stay encouraged no matter what and live your life as normal as possible in an abnormal world. And everything will be listed below as well. Now, God bless you. Be safe.